We just spoke to Ralph, who is daily working with the environmental challenges and all the agendas about sustainability. That obviously is very important for a company like Kurz. I have now the pleasure to talk to Markus, also working with the environmental and sustainable. Markus, introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, nice to meet you. My name is Markus von Beyer. I work as a head of environmental health and safety and sustainability, and I'm responsible for the Recosys system we just took into market, and also for all our things regarding sustainability, health, safety aspects, and also topics for recycling of the products of our customers, because we also take that quite serious to give some answers about that topic as well.
Let's talk about that in a second, because I just got curious a little bit, because we sometimes are so eager talking about sustainability and environmental that I sometimes forget that it also comes to health, because we are talking about machines.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? What do you do from that perspective?
Yeah, since we produce all of our lacquers ourselves, we produce all of our transfer finishes for ourselves, we took that quite serious, because we do use solvents, we use binders, we do use polymers to produce all the lacquers for ourselves. So it's really important to have all that ingredients in mind when we bring that to our production line, since we take care of our workers. And that's why we always have a strict process to bring new formulations into production and see that they work for the workers, they work for the environment. And finally, we also try to make it possible to work it out for the environment in terms of what is really the footprint of the ingredients, how can we improve our products in that kind of direction. And so we took really take care that this works for all three parts.
Fantastic. One of the things I can't help think about is that, as I spoke to Ralph about the changes from, as an old company, I think that the environmental demands, not only from the legislation, but also from consumers and from the brand owners, is changing. How much does that impact? And because if you make a foil, if you make a varnish, if you make an ink, if you make whatever you make here, right? You still need to make sure that it works, right?
Yes.
So how difficult is it to find something that can substitute? Let's say you have a chemical that you want to substitute now. How difficult is that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is a really challenging part, because at the end, the technology must work as before. So you need to make sure that it's working the same way it did before. And that's why the qualification process of new raw materials is kind of challenging. And also when you think about that, the raw materials come from renewable sources like plants or so on. Sometimes the quality could change, because from year to year the plants grow different, so you need to make sure the quality is always the same, and if not, you need to bring that into your formulation of the lacquer and make sure that the quality at the final end product we deliver to our customer is exactly the same.
Is that like, I have never tried it, so I'm just asking maybe a stupid question, but is that like you go and research and find your own way of ingredients, or is it more like you go to an open market where you can kind of address the kind of raw material you need? How does it work?
You can do it both ways. Mm-hmm. Go to the open market, buy some ingredients, like if you go to a store,
big supermarket for raw material,
and grab just the things you need. Mm-hmm. Or you have also the opportunity to make it really customized, to see what is necessary for your ink or for your lacquer, and then fine tune it to your needs and bring it.
Okay. And in your role, is that to more oversee that all the things complies to your standards, or what is it you do in your daily life?
So I think it's more overseeing that it's comply with the standards, also that it complies with the health issues of our workers, and also it fits for the production, that we can use that kind of ingredient in our production. It's fitted for the machines, it's fitted for the technical regulations of the machines.
So is it fun?
It's really fun.
It's really fun.
And it's different every day.
So Markus, I really enjoy this board you have made here. Can you explain? Because I mean, what you talk about is we have two sides of the board. We have one thing that is about the internal processes that you've been talking about, and then we have the customer. Should we start here a little bit and explain maybe what's going on?
Let's start here. On this side of the wall, we see all the things related to the carbon footprint of the products we sell to the market, and also a little bit on the company carbon footprint of ours. So let's maybe start with the product carbon footprints, and also starting with these two rolls. On the right side, you can see the classic 12 micron cold transfer finish, which is 12 microns and with a total length of 2,000 meters. And what we introduced really...
In itself, that's amazing to think of that. 2 kilometers of material here, right?
Just rolled up on this small roll, yes. But you can even go further and reduce this thickness of the carrier by 50%, which is the brand new Slim with 6 micron thickness of the carrier. Same length, short distance, same distance, but smaller amount of material, so almost cut it by half. So this gives you more flexibility, also in terms of using longer run times on the machines. But also,
we just spoke to Marco about it, how it works on the offset machines, right?
Yeah.
And it's just amazing to see, because I mean, basically, you have actually missed one thing here, because basically, when you ship this, right, you can basically also ship more for the same cubic meter.
Cubic meter, yeah.
So that also saves a little bit on the environment, sending it out to the customers, right?
Yeah. Or the double amount, but you're absolutely right, and also the runtime, and also in terms of the product carbon footprint, you cut the PET amount which is required by half. So this lowers the carbon footprint of the product we deliver to our customers significantly. So this helps really the environment, since the reduction is always the best way to really help the environment. So typically the question is, what is going to happen with the used carrier since we apply it to labels or whatever substrate? Then we ultimately end up here on the top right. So the leftovers of the transfer process, which has a little bit leftovers of not transferred product. But the good news is we can thus transfer this material to new granulates, which is shown here.
So these mixed, or they converted into the granular, or?
So it's like the fiber production process. Like you produce recycled fibers, you always mix up a little bit
So you
virgin.
mix a little bit of the virgin with the recycled.
With the recycle, yeah. But just that required amount to have the properties to make that injection moldable.
Is this a real granular, or is it just fake material?
No, it's the real material.
So that is what you use
this
for...
was a cold transfer foil. So mix it with a little bit virgin material, and then you can produce these kind of new products.
So it can be used for something completely different, basically.
Absolutely. So this is a flower, this is a watering pot. You can also make different transport products. You're quite flexible since it's injection moldable.
Okay, so this is this material you basically use for plastic, or what's it called, molding? What do you say?
Injection mold.
Injection mold. Yeah,
yes.
precisely. Yeah.
And finally, you can also decorate that kind of material again.
Yeah. Quite amazing, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, and the use of this material saves up to 40% of carbon dioxide, since you do not produce or need to produce virgin granulates, but you can use the leftovers from the transfer process.
And since you are delivering the foils to the printing companies anyway, you can take it back at the same process, right? Or...
Yes, and this is what we do with our EcoSys process. So we have developed an application for iOS and also for Android. You can have it installed on your mobile device. And if you reach a certain threshold of leftovers from the transfer process, you just give us a note, and we pick up the material, bring it to our recycling place, convert it to these granulates, and you get a certificate for not emit carbon dioxide to the environment.
Okay, so that is basically how you can carbon offset through a process with you?
Yes, you can at least lower your carbon dioxide emissions, which are related to the use of our products.
Okay. And then you, of course, have the solar panels, and you have, what more? You have the forest.
Yeah, we have the solar panels. You can see two small pictures on the wall here. One is the headquarters here in Fürth, which is equipped on almost every rooftop, which is feasible for photovoltaics, with photovoltaics. And you can see also this park here in Sulzbach-Rosenberg, which saves us almost 8,700 tons of carbon dioxide every year. And this equals, you can see it here, to almost 800 acres of forest.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to the customer side, because that's also quite interesting, right?
I think it is, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. You start with a product here, basically, which looks really cool, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, whatever sustainability we have, we still need to make cool products, right?
Finally, you need to have cool and attractive products.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. So we have different kinds of things shown on this, not necessarily only for label, but also for packaging industry. So we have always in mind to recycle really the products of our customers. It's not about our products, it's always about in this case, about the products of the end customer. So typically, when you have, for example, a box where this nice spirit is in, you bring it to the trash bin, you put it into trash bin. This is the first step, that there is a possibility to really recycle it. And afterwards, these fibers must be recovered in any direction. So this is why we have a deeper look and deep dive really into the ways of recycling. So I think one important step is it really repulpable? This is a really good question, that you can really have that product on it, recycle it and make new products out of it. So we did a lot of tests together with the PDS, for example, and this shows that there isn't any impact for recycling. But also, if you go a little bit further, you want to get rid of the lacquers on the packaging. We did a lot of trials with INKISH to see that our products typically are fully de-inkable. So you can detach the
ink from the substrate,
from the substrate and make white fibers out of it again.
Yeah. But when you do these kind of things, I mean, you're still depending very much on what types of ink your customers are using. So are you coming with recommendations for types of ink, or is it only looking into the product life cycle of the specific Kurz products?
Yeah, this is a really good question, since you have too many combinations possible for producing products. And that's why we joined also the FFE to have a really comprehensive study on that type of topic. So together with FFE, we determined, or we researched 25 different combinations of inks, of varnishes, of transfer finish, hot stamping, cold transfer, overprinted, not overprinted. And these come always to the same conclusion, that it is recyclable within the household collection. Okay. So this is really, really good news here.
Yeah, I can't help think about, because when we talk about, also because you talk about the circular thing that you have here on the top, is that if you look at North Europe compared to South Europe, you have a lot of what's it called, landfills, especially in South, also in Germany, of course. But in North, you often burn it because you want to have the heat energy out of it. Is that something that you also have in when you look at the sustainability agenda? So
this is typically a little bit depending on the material you're looking at. Paper is quite often recycled, so the recycling rates are beyond 80%. Yeah. But when it comes to polymers, typically it's a little bit different. But we also did a lot of trials to have our products not influencing the quality of the recyclate. If you really recycle it, we always want to make sure that our products do not hinder the recycling process or lower the quality. So,
So that is where really you say important. The no harm to the composting process, or
this is more related a little bit to the composting.
To the composting, okay.
I think composting is not the best way to recycle, because at the end of the day there is no fiber at all. Yeah. But
in case you do the landfills, basically that is where you basically say that, okay, if it's fully compostable, then you basically have environmentally not harming product, at least.
You're right, yes. Yeah. If it's going to the environment, our products do not harm the environment in this way.
It must be, we're running a little bit out of time here, but I'm just saying that it must be fantastic to sit and do these kind of studies, because I mean, this is something that is not just for the impact of Kurz and your employees and for your customers, but for a global impact, basically, right? Because these kind of research studies you do, it benefits the entire value chain in the printing industry,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Is that something that you share, or is it something that is kind of a competitive secret?
No, we need to or we want to make sure that this is spread along across the value chain, and we also work a little bit together with all the third parties and also with some companies or some organizations like Recyclass, like the FFE, the Forever Green.
So these are like
organizations we work together, and also we work really actively in these organizations to spread the word around the globe. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Markus, again,
thank you.
Second time, but thank you very much. It was really nice to get a good understanding of what you've been working with. So thank you for the explanation here.
Yes, thank you.